What is up, everybody? I am outside of TD Place, where I just watched Team Ottawa beat Team Toronto 5-3, ending the 11-game streak. For the first time ever, Ottawa has back-to-back wins. They beat New York, they beat Toronto. They got 6 points in those games. They are now ahead of Boston by 5 points. Boston does have a game in hand, though, so we'll have to see how their game plays out, but 5 games left in the season. We're sitting in a playoff spot. No matter what happens in the Boston game, we are still going to be sitting in the playoff spot with 5 games to go in the season. So we are heading to the very, very end of the season. Huge game. Daryl Watts with a monster 3 goals, first ever hat trick for this team. We went from our first ever shutout to our first ever hat trick. The vibes are immaculate. The crowd was chanting, "End the streak, end the streak." Just an all around great game. Yes. We did it! Round 1 of the Battle of Ontario is done. Ottawa has done it. Oh, 11 games doesn't matter because Ottawa and Toronto in the regular season face each other 5 times. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter what happens in the final game against Toronto for the Battle of Ontario because it's over. We won. Ottawa beats Toronto, ends their 11-game winning streak, and we win the Battle of Ontario in the regular season. The initial Battle of Ontario, the inaugural Battle of Ontario. This is who won. This is who won, baby. It was Ottawa, not Toronto. It's our house. It's our province. Oh, that feels so good. Now, of course, we might see them in the postseason. And actually, this game adds some potential wrinkles to what happens in the postseason as to what Toronto would do if we both make it to the playoffs. If we finish 4th and Toronto finishes 1st, and in our last game of the season, we don't ice our starters, or worse for Toronto, we beat them, what do you do if you're Toronto? Do you face the team that has a winning record against you? Very likely the only team in the league with a winning record against you? Or do you face a team that has more points? It puts them in a bad situation, but this is it. We are the first team to 100% for sure, no doubter. We have a winning record against Toronto. No other team can say that. No other team has a winning record against Toronto right now. We have beat them 3 out of 4 times. We own them. This is our province. Oh, and Daryl Watts take a hat trick. This is just a great game. This is just a great game. I'm going to get into it, but first, can we just take a moment? Ottawa fans, breathe it in. We've won back-to-back games. Daryl Watts hit a hat trick. We went from our first ever shutout to our first ever hat trick. Oh my God. Shutout, hat trick. 6 points in 2 games. Not just that. I believe we have 10 points in 4? 10 points in 4 games? Are you kidding me? I said that, we need to take control of our fate. We faced Toronto, a team who had an 11-game winning streak, who looked unstoppable. And we lit them up 4 times in the third period. Actually, if you want to get really technical about it, we scored our first goal with 4 seconds left in the second period. And we scored our 5th goal with more than 4 seconds to go in the third period. So in a 20-minute span of game time, we lit them up 5 times. We got 4 straight goals before they got a squeaker that should barely have counted. In fact, I'm surprised that they didn't review it because it looked like the whistle went off. But fine, doesn't matter because we got a 5th one anyway. They were up 2-0. We were looking dead in the water. And then we just decided, nah, this is our province. Go, get out of here. We own Toronto right now. We own them right now. We are the one team that so consistently has their number that, if you watched PWHL Toronto and knew nothing about PWHL Ottawa, and you watched them win 11 straight, and then you watched Ottawa light them up, just light them up, especially that third period. You'd say, oh, so Ottawa's like the best team in the league and it's not even close, right? Ottawa just dunks on teams every day of the week, right? Like, we beat them bad. 5-3 final score. I'm going to be honest, that third period was ours. And the first period, we'll get into the game. I'm very excited. The early game, honestly, I don't think any team got an immediate initial advantage. We did take a penalty, and our kill was really good. Toronto basically got nothing going. I don't even know if they got a shot. I don't even know if they got a shot attempt. We just kept clearing. Really good play, but we weren't taking momentum. We weren't taking control of the game. And then Toronto has a nasty hit on Gabby Hughes. A very obvious penalty. I think they're actually kind of lucky that they only got 2 for it. I nonetheless am happy to have a power play. It was a decent power play, a few chances, but didn't score, and there wasn't anything that, like, again, it wasn't that momentum shifting moment. It wasn't that moment where you're like, okay, yeah, Ottawa's hitting into another gear. The first period actually kind of stays like that. We have another play where it was a penalty. When I initially saw it, when I wrote it in my notes, I said, oh yeah, no, like their goaltender tripped us and we get the penalty. But looking back, it was goalie interference. The way we cut into their crease, that is the goaltender's area. I get that we want to make a play for the puck. I get you want to make a play for it. There are some things that you still can't do, that being one of them. So nonetheless, another penalty, and this PK, it's a little more dangerous, but we kill it off. Toronto has few chances here. We kill it off. Another late penalty call on us, and then Toronto with a hit on Gilmore that I did not like. It looked like Gilmore really hurt her shoulder. I'm worried she dislocated it, but I don't want to speculate. So, but she clearly was laboring, and she's off and she's out. She's out for the game. She clearly got really hurt. Not, Gabby Hughes was shaken up after her hit. Gilmore, it was not good. It was not good. And on the ensuing 4-on-4, we look better. We have a few close calls to scoring. Down the final stretch of the first, it looks like we're starting to become better, like we might be taking the momentum. But after the first period, the teams are playing pretty evenly, which is a good thing against Toronto. When a team has an 11-game winning streak, to say you're going blow for blow, to say that, you're weathering the storm, that's good. Then the second period starts. We got a few chances. We were playing good in terms of getting chances, but Toronto's playing aggressive. Their hits are big. They are not giving us space. They're not giving us room to breathe. We are outplaying them, but they are way more physical. Jinsey Rose almost scores. The shot goes off the side of the net. And then, bad giveaway right near our end, and Toronto scores. It's Natalie Spooner. Who else? And this just feels like we're going back. We've just reverted to that old PWHL Ottawa team that just kept losing winnable games. Just a giveaway where you can't have a giveaway. And we get burned. And we get so burned. And we have a good response after scoring. Toronto does a much better job of holding us back, though. We aren't just wailing on them. We aren't peppering their goaltender. And then Toronto takes a penalty. And you think, okay, this is our opportunity. And then a bad 2-on-1 makes it a 2-0 game. Jailbreak Toronto. And I'm just sitting there thinking, we can't keep making bad mistakes against a team like Toronto. Toronto is a team where if you make a bad mistake, they make you pay. And they don't make bad mistakes. I even thought, we're going to need to play a really, really good rest of the second and full third to maybe get 2 goals. I had no idea what was coming. I did not know the force that we were about to become. I don't think Toronto realized the bear that they had just awoken. I didn't. I can tell you I didn't. When I was sitting there after that other Toronto goal to make it 2-0, I was just like, oh, same old story, same old story. And we pepper their goaltender. We are peppering their goaltender, and it's just not working. Their goaltender's just saving everything. And then we get another penalty, and we prevent calamity. Toronto takes a penalty of their own, get a nice 4-on-4, and this is like right at the end of the period, and then, we get a power play. It's a small, brief power play, and with 4 seconds to go in the period, Daryl Watts snipes it. It's a 1-goal game again, and now the vibe has kind of changed. Toronto was 4 seconds away from going into the third on cruise control. The penalty was almost over anyways. They're up by, 2 with a period left. You just got to hold off PWHL Ottawa. You've got an 11-game winning streak. Instead, you just let in a goal. You just gave Ottawa life. But as long as you don't and then immediately we score. Right as I didn't even finish the sentence. Did you notice that I didn't finish the sentence of as long as you don't let them immediately score? Because Haley Scummer, 38 seconds into the third. If you add that 4 seconds to that 38 seconds, that's basically 2 goals in 42 seconds of game time. And it is a tie game, Ottawa. The crowd was electric. Oh my gosh. And then we got a little bit of a role reversal here, because Toronto is the team that really has a good comeback to getting scored on. We actually give it away in our end a few times, but Toronto just can't capitalize on something that constantly leads to us getting scored on. Toronto's just not scoring. And then Brianne Jenner breaks the tie off of a beautiful pass. She boom pots it in. And it is 3-2 Ottawa. Blink and you miss it. We just scored 3, baby. I mean, at the end of if you turn the game off with 10 seconds left in the second period, you would have asked, how much did Toronto win that game by? They're playing pretty well. Ottawa hasn't done too much to make me think that they're going to be a big threat. And then, boom, out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3. We aren't done yet. We are not done yet. The game starts to quiet down. The teams, I do want to say, it's not to say that the teams don't get chances, but just the chances are not as crazy. They aren't as goaltenders flying everywhere, puck going everywhere. The game's kind of quieting down. You can tell that, Ottawa it almost feels like we're trying to just eat some clock, and Toronto's trying to set something up. Calm their game down, things have been flying. Ottawa got 3 quick goals. They want to just calm things down. They should not have wanted to calm things down. Because Daryl Watts gets the second of the game for her on a beauty. It's a breakaway, or it's a break. I don't know if it's a breakaway, but it's a beauty and a half, and it is 4-2 Ottawa. The crowd is going wild. People are starting to say, and the streak. It's quiet though. It's quiet. And it gets a little quieter because it is a weird, funky bounce. It is maybe a minute later. Toronto, from behind our net, throws the puck just vaguely at Maschmeyer. It's not that good of a shot. And Maschmeyer goes to cover. And again, it feels like there should have been a whistle. I think there was a whistle, but it kind of squeaks through her equipment. She's not able to cover, and it just kind of squeaks into the net. It's a weird, funky goal that Maschmeyer shouldn't let in. She typically doesn't. At the same time, those weird, stupid goals are the best when they get scored against you in a game that you win. I'd much rather that goal get scored here than get scored in overtime, than get scored in the playoffs, especially in a close playoff game where one goal really makes a difference. I'd much rather it be the last gasp of Toronto. And it really was. So, Natalie Spooner, this was not her second. She got the first 2 goals. This was the first non-Spooner goal with Sarah Nurse. And I'm going to be honest, it really felt like Spooner was the only one who scored for Toronto, because this was a weird, technically a goal, but the only one who showed up to score goals was Spooner, who to score good goals. And then they pulled the goaltender. They're pressing us. I will admit, they press us again. It's a 1-goal game. Jenner almost gets it out of the zone, but can't. Toronto with the shot that gets blocked, and this time we get it out of the zone. We get it to Jenner, and this, I know it's an empty netter, but it's very smart. Jenner doesn't just take a shot at it. She doesn't have a good shot at it. She passes it off to Watts. First off, when you have a player with 2 goals on the ice and an empty net, you pass to them. You have to pass to them. Daryl Watts doesn't have a shot. So she slows it down, gets to the center of the ice, wide open, into the open net, throw the hats. It is 5-3 for Ottawa. Daryl Watts has scored a hat trick for Ottawa. The Battle of Ontario to Ottawa, who has a 5-point lead in the playoffs race. It's Ottawa who ends the 11-game win streak. It's Ottawa who has a winning back-to-back games for the first time. Back-to-back wins. It's Ottawa. Everything is coming up Ottawa. There is no better way to go into this break than with this game. That's it. That's it. Throw the notes away. Throw the hat away. What a game. What a game. I mean, we go into the break happy, but still 5 games left. Boston has a game in hand. Boston still could do something. You know, we can't celebrate yet. And 5 points in the PWHL, it's only 2 wins. It's not a lot. We have a game against Boston in April. That is so vital. You know, if the Boston-New York game can go to overtime and we can beat Boston and New York, that could, especially if we can beat them in regulation, that could give us the space that we need. But we are, again, masters of our own fate. We have back-to-back wins. And now we have a long break. And when we get back, we got to finish off strong. But what a game. What a way to end the winning streak. And as always, go! Ottawa! Go!